topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Well, good afternoon. Bill Martinez here, along with our special guest and author of a book and everything that's inside it that you're going to want to take notes and you want to pay attention to it because the title of the book says everything that's going to grab your attention here. Be smart, pay zero taxes. Who doesn't want to pay zero taxes? Use the buy, borrow, die strategy to get rich and stay rich. Mark Quann joins us now. Hey, Mark, good to see you again. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Fortunately, I paid very little taxes last year. So, I haven't done my tax returns, but it's not a gimmick. It's pay zero taxes isn't like a tagline. So it's good. Life is good when you're not paying a lot of taxes.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I know a lot of people are excited right now because of refunds that are coming and projected starting out at about 12%. They think, could be as high as 15% more that you'll be getting this year. But, there's a smarter way. I mean, because you don't want the government holding on to the money for you, right? Because they don't pay you any interest.
They don't, and it's a crazy number. Most people actually overpay their taxes because they don't understand the basics. But even right now, it's you have to do more work to get a refund. Not in a good way because you get the standard deduction plus you can itemize this is the first time ever Americans can take their big standard deduction, then they can itemize to reduce their tax bill. It's never been like that. It's always been a choice of one or the other.
Yeah, because the government is in the business of not making business, just kind of stealing from us who are creating wealth, right?
Absolutely. For every government employee, it means the rest of us are paying for them. So they consume and don't produce anything, and we have to work and pay for them. The government has three strategies: print, spend, and tax. That's it. It's all three forms of theft. When they print, that's theft through inflation, right? If you're closest to the money printer, it's very easy to get wealthy. Washington, D.C., and Virginia, why is it so wealthy? Because they're closest to the money printer. Make sense?
Yes, exactly.
You get and spend and invest the money before it causes inflation to the rest of us. So yeah, print, tax is direct taxation. Every time they spend, if they print more money and give themselves bigger raises and salaries, they spend it. It causes more inflation to the rest of us. We're not close to the money printer, so we have to create our own raises through entrepreneurship or investing.
Yeah, and look at the number 12 zip code in the country, near the printer, right?
Yeah, closest to the money printer. That's it, right? So
yeah, there it is.
But if you want to get close to the money printer, just learn the buy, borrow, die strategy. I get to print as much money as I want, so we can talk about that.
Yeah, we are. We're going to break it down. We've got plenty of time to do that this time, so I'm looking forward to it. But again, considering what our government has been doing to us, we're $39 trillion in debt. And growing, and it's a game that they have they've pretty well put the odds in their favor. I mean, all that. I mean, Mark, I've talked to I can't even tell you how many economists. I said, tell me how we're $39 trillion in debt, and explain to me how all that money is not tied to some political favor or vote purchasing scam.
Yeah, it started in 2008 with the government, bailing out the banks and whatever. After the banks the government was complicit in 2008. They loosened the laws and said, make homes affordable for everybody. So they just started, allowing anybody.
Well, but that was before 2008. That was during the Clinton era when they did that. And 2008 is when we realized, maybe a bad deal here, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it was really that it was government created,
Mhm.
and and the thing is, some people win, some people don't. There's always good and bad in everything, right? If you make homes affordable, there's people that actually get homes and responsible. They're in a home, they would never have owned a home. But then there's the people that that don't act responsible, rack up their credit cards and refi. So there's always good, and I can always see good and bad in everything. But when the government is $39 trillion in debt. And then this is the first time we've ever found the fraud, abuse, and theft. I
Yeah.
mean, we've never seen that. NGOs
Well,
and
we've suspected it because we've seen our neighbors, that are going.
yeah,
We don't see them going to work, but they're driving in nice cars and they're having steak every night. What's going on here? What's with
yeah,
this deal? And then and then you see them every once in a while. They got an EBT card, and you're going, how do you live in this kind of luxury with an EBT card?
yeah. When I was in California, I was in this luxury building in Wills, and there was a lady who didn't work. She had her meals delivered to her three times a day, food
Mhm.
delivery. She never went to work. She didn't do anything. She was driving a G-Wagon. I was like, man, this lady is like super rich. They accidentally delivered her mail to our house. She hadn't paid her electrical bill for 9 months. So she was living on the system, not paying her electrical, living in a luxury apartment in Woodland Hills and
Mhm.
driving a G-Wagon. I'm sure she had a free cell phone and free food and everything like that. Like this was a luxury building in Woodland Hills, like very pretty affluent neighborhood. So yeah, California is the fraud is starting to come out of California, but unfortunately, it steals from Medicare. It steals from all payers, not just people in California.
Well, it's like whenever you have money, like our government is producing out there, the buzzards come out.
Yeah, they
And
do.
and it's amazing, whether it's NGOs and again and all this, and you and I discussed this before, and I think that the people's eyes are starting to wake up to the fact that this is a political scam because what they do is the politicians protect these scams because they're getting their vig off the money that the NGOs are ripping off from the taxpayer, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's the politicians just turn their head because they may get some campaign donations or whatever. Obviously, Minnesota, the biggest example of that,
Mhm.
right? But yeah, I mean, fortunately, I think I like the chainsaw approach, like Argentina approach, just
Yeah.
chainsaw, just start cutting and cutting and
Yeah,
cutting,
that's
right?
when Elon Musk came out. Remember, he freaked everybody out when he brought
Yeah.
out the golden chainsaw.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the melee approach,
Right.
chainsaw approach. Cut about 30% of the federal government, right? You can replace it with AI. It'd be easy to do. Just
Right.
ask some AI companies to replace 30% of the federal government. Would
Yeah.
be much better off for it.
Well, Malay was lucky because he didn't have, the federal union to deal with like we do,
Right.
and and of course, this has been something that has been strongly entrenched. And I'm sorry to go on in this, but again,
Yeah.
this is part of the reality of what we're living with and why we need your system and we need your strategy so that we can get above the fray. Otherwise, we're going to be, 12 foot underwater all brought to you by a government that's sitting there controlling the faucet, right?
Yeah, and again, we don't want to just discuss problems. We want to discuss solutions, right?
Amen.
I'm a
Right.
solutions guy. Like I
Yeah.
just find solutions. I've been doing it for 25 years, and I have a pretty good solution. It's working for helping anybody of any income. Anybody of any income can become wealthy in America. That's the good news today.
Mhm. Well, let's tell everybody your story because that's what you've got. I mean, what you have developed is based on experience.
Yeah, so I'll give you my fancy, cr- uh, anyways, I'm a high school and college dropout. So let's start with that, right? I don't even have a high school diploma. I don't have a college. I dropped out of college because I thought it was a scam, honestly. I was like, oh, this is a scam,
Yeah.
like credit cards, student loans, send you to
Imagine that
business
somebody
school.
somebody who drops out of high school goes to college and says, "Hey, this is a scam. I'm dropping out of this
Oh,
too."
100%. I knew it
I'm
was a scam before I went into college, but I was
uh,
like, dude, I might as well go party with my friends and, chase girls and drink beer. And I was working in the ice cream factory eating Haagen-Dazs. It was a fun experience, lots of pub crawls. So I knew it was a scam, but I
mhm.
thought I'd spend a couple years there and have a good time in college.
Yeah, why not? Hey, we're real quick. We're talking with Mark Quann, author of Be Smart, Pay Zero Taxes. Use the buy, borrow, die strategy to get rich and stay rich. Huh? Does that get your attention? All right, we're going to hear more of Mark's story now. Okay, so you go to college, you say, "Wow, what a scam!"
Yeah, I mean, I grew up as a bricklayer. I've done every type of construction job. I've done bricklaying. I used to drill concrete under houses for like weeks at a time doing retrofitting in California. I've done plumbing, electrical. I've worked in factories, multiple factories. I was on welfare once because I was so poor and there was no jobs in Ottawa. I couldn't get a job because I couldn't speak English. I've been almost homeless twice. I've been robbed 3 times by knife point and beat up in Los Angeles because I was in a really rough neighborhood of Los Angeles. It was all gang infested by the Avenues gang and stuff like that. So kind of grew up pretty rough. My best friend was a drug dealer and a car thief when I was 16, just to hang out with all the wrong people. But you know, I still had a good head of my shoulders. And I knew I was going to the United States of America at some point. I was like, I'm going to go to California at some point, right? So I left, dropped out of college, went to California, got a job as a security guard for $6 an hour. As $6 an hour, doing security work with the other illegal immigrants, because I was also an illegal immigrant. And I got a job as a private investigator part time, and I got really good at it. And I was making like $16 an hour in 2002, which was awesome money, right? For an illegal immigrant to making $16 an hour as a PI, I was killing it. So it was fun.
You could buy any cheese you wanted at that point.
It was great, man. It was great, and I got really good at it. And the insurance companies paid me a lot of money because I was really good at private investigation work. So did that and started reading financial books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant, all the usuals. And then became a financial advisor. I was a financial advisor for 13 years. I used to train financial advisors. I was actually the trainer of the trainers for financial advisors for
Mark, let me interrupt you for a second here. I mean, because you've taken us down a road of different background experiences and that, private investigating, working as an illegal. I mean, going through all this whole stuff. When did you realize that you had an IQ for finances?
I just hated being poor. I just hated it. I couldn't stand it. I was tired I have 3 generations of poverty on both sides. So we never got assets, anything on both sides. Like there was no real estate, no savings, no stocks, nothing for 3 generations. So I was like, this is crazy, right? We were in a really bad neighborhood in Canada. And I was like, I need to learn how to make money. So I just went to California and I just obsessed. I read books. I paid for seminars. I would spend, I got to learn how to do this. I got to learn how to trade stock options. I'd pay for a $5,000 seminar 20 years ago to spend a week in Vegas learning how to trade stock options. I bought real estate. 2008 killed me. I was like 700,000 in debt in bad real estate deals. So I had to dig myself out that. I was a financial advisor, and then I started writing books. So I didn't know I could write a book. So I wrote my first book, finished it in 2014, another one 2018, 2020. And then the last one was last year.
So, wow, what a journey. So you're going through by experience. I mean, you're going through the gauntlet and learning as you go through each process, right?
Yeah, I thought school was stupid because you're sitting in there listening to a professor teach you theory. I just thought it was so dumb. So I was the guy who left school in grade 9 because I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go out and experience the world. I want to learn from doing stuff, not from sitting in a classroom.
Right. Yeah, because a lot of times in the classroom, it's all theory. It's not really practical. And you're going, okay, because I know in my particular case, I delayed a little bit of my education. I was in the military, but it really served me well. And, and I came to the conclusion, just like you, is that I wasn't making money in the classroom.
No, and you have to realize that the schools weren't created to create free thinking people. The schools were created for a specific reason, to create people it was really to destroy innovation. It was destroyed to destroy free thinking people. It was created to make employees for factories. So that's the current schooling system. It's not to make you successful or an entrepreneur. It was to make you not really think like an entrepreneur. They've even done studies on this. The longer you go to school, you lose the ability of independent thought.
Right.
After a 4-year degree, you have almost no ability of independent thought anymore. It's been that many years of indoctrination by professors telling you how to think. You can't think anymore. And what's worse is that Wall Street's in there and teaching you how to think about money too. It's very deep. That's a deep rabbit hole.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the whole concept of critical thinking, when you talk to these kids about critical thinking, their eyes glaze over.
Yeah, they have no idea. They don't even have the concept of critical thinking.
Hmm. Yeah. So, okay. So here you've gone through all this experience, you've had peaks, you've got valleys, and for all that you've learned, now you're paying it forward and you're saying, look I want to help people be smart, pay zero taxes, you know, get rich and stay rich.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do we do? What's our first step?
Okay. You have to delete everything you've ever learned about money. So go to work, get a job, pay your taxes, save money, get credit, contribute to a retirement account, trash all of it. That's all the system to keep you working. Like
Mhm.
we don't, but
That'll keep you on the hamster wheel of life. I say
it was, yeah. Retirement accounts weren't created to help you retire. They were created to keep you working. They
right.
literally were created to keep you working, right? If you keep
Yeah.
working, you pay income taxes. And
Well, that's kind of like life insurance,
yeah,
Same
it's
thing,
kind
right?
of is. But life insurance, at least it's final. You die or family gets money. Taxation goes on it for the rest of your life, and you can even pass the tax problems to your kids.
Oh, lucky
So
you, huh?
it's
Thank you, Grandpa.
multi-generational.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
no, there's this strategy. It's buy, borrow, die. The billionaires have been using it. Every billionaire who became a billionaire was probably a millionaire at some point. They just use this strategy, buy assets, never sell them. If you sell them, you trigger the capital gains taxes. So don't sell them, you don't pay capital gains taxes.
Hmm.
Next, borrow from one asset to buy another asset. When you borrow it from money at a low interest rate, you avoid income taxes. That's the largest tax of all. Income taxes is state, federal, Social Security, and Medicare. That's four huge taxes. When I borrow money, I pay none of those four taxes. I may have to pay 5% interest that year, but what if I avoid a 30% tax?
Yeah, exactly.
It's as long as the investments are good, you
Mhm.
can compound wealth very quickly. I never sell the assets because I never pay the capital gains. As they appreciate, I can borrow from one asset to buy the other asset. The rich even do this with artwork.
Mhm.
They
Yeah,
can, I
exactly.
mean, yeah.
So walk us through a scenario, Mark.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
step one, what do we do?
You put $100 in a brokerage account.
Hmm.
Put $100 in there. This is in the book. And by the way, I
Yes.
started teaching this to homeschool kids. So
Yeah.
I'm teaching this to kids for as young as 9 years old. From 9 to 18, they learn it really fast. Their parents are struggling with it.
And the parents are going to the 9-year-old saying, "Teach me."
Yeah, teach it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the 9 year old learns it really fast. And so, anyways, basically, if you buy a bunch of ETFs, you could put all right, $20 in gold, $20 in silver, $20 in an income ETF. They're called covered calls. We're not going to go too much into the weeds on this, but
Okay.
two that pay income, and then we're going to put one in Bitcoin or copper. I mean, to pick whatever that is, right? You put $20 in each, right?
Okay.
There you go. You're at your $100. Now add $100 a week, right? Just buy forever.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, the stock market's going to make money. They're paying income inside, so you're actually making money without working because they're actually trading options inside the ETF. Again, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of options trading, but you can buy an ETF. They actually trade options and generate income. So now you're making money without work.
Explain to the audience ETF.
Oh, sorry,
What is
exchange
an
traded
ETF?
fund. It's like a bucket. It's like
I
a
know.
bucket. Yeah. An ETF, it's like a bucket. You could put gold inside the bucket and Bitcoin, and then you own gold and Bitcoin. You could take on and have Amazon and a bunch of stocks in there. You could have 10 stocks in there, and it's a bucket. Then they trade the bucket. So it's literally anything.
Hmm.
Well, they can also trade options in that bucket, and that could generate a 15% annual dividend by them trading the options. That's pretty cool. You're making a 15% return on your money.
Yeah. Where can you get
Doing
that?
nothing.
Yeah.
And doing nothing. And by the way, it's about half the amount of taxes of working.
And talk about this is like passive income.
Yeah, it's money. Well, money it's money when you're not working. So what do? You buy your time back. How valuable is your time?
Mhm.
Two, the growth is never taxed. So you're making money when you're not working that's tax free, right? The dividends buy more. So it just buys more. It compounds more they're actually weekly dividends.
Mhm.
Every week I get a
Wow.
paycheck, whether I'm
Wow.
doing anything or not. So,
Uh-huh.
and then as the portfolio grows, if you borrow from that asset to buy another one, you didn't work for it. You have another asset, you didn't pay taxes or work on it. So you buy freedom, you buy time back. It's not taxed, and you're actually fighting inflation with inflation. Sense?
Yes, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Mark Quann is our guest. He's the author of Be Smart, Pay Zero Taxes, Use the Buy, Borrow, Die strategy to get rich and stay rich. And we're going through some of the academics in the process here. So, number one, get a bucket, right?
Yeah, buy an
Yeah.
ETF. Now you
Yeah.
could buy 5 ETFs. Like, oh, I want 20% in gold, 20% in silver, 20% in copper, 20% in an income ETF, and 20% in an index fund. Whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. You buy $500 in there. You
Mhm.
put maybe $50 a week or $100 a week in there, and just invest it. Let the computer just buy them forever, and
Mhm.
then never sell. Great. You need
And
some cash. You got
yeah,
5 grand in your ETFs, and you're like, I need $1,000 for something. You have a choice of either working hard and paying taxes and then fight inflation. That's choice option two. Or you can press the borrow button, borrow $1,000. It's secure. So you still have your 5 grand. The 1,000 goes to your bank account. So now there's $6,000 there. The $1,000 didn't exist. You didn't work for it.
mhm.
You just created money at a low interest rate. Sure, you may have to pay $5 in 5%
Yeah,
interest on that, but you avoided a $30 tax
right.
because you
Exactly.
didn't pay income taxes and you didn't spend your time working. As long as you invest in another asset, it just compounds. We do it with stocks, ETFs, life insurance, real estate, cryptocurrency, and precious metals. Buy, borrow. Now, when you die, you can die with up to $30 million if you're married, tax free. Step up in basis, $30 million go to your family. This is how people become billionaires. It's
Mhm.
exactly how they do it because they do it, their kids do it. They're just growing their wealth with zero work and taxation. If they but die with 30 million, boom, 30 million goes to their kids.
Right.
The kids can invest it. If it
So, Mark,
doubles
give,
every,
give us
if
an
it doubles
idea.
every, just think about this.
Oh,
Imagine the kids inherit 30, they never work. It doubles every 6 years. So they had 30 million. 6 years later, they have 60 million, 120, 240 million. You know, pretty soon they're billionaires and they did nothing.
right.
They just let the portfolio grow.
Yeah, as long as they don't do anything silly like drain the account and go spend the rest of their life chasing down the Grateful Dead concert tour.
That's true. There's many of those rich people who earn it and then their kids destroy their lives spending it. So yeah, you also got to make sure your kids have a good head on their shoulder.
I actually have a story. That's why I said Grateful
Nice.
Dead.
Okay. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's where that came from.
Yeah. Don't be a Biden, right? Messed
Yeah,
up his
no,
kids. So
yeah, no, really, uh, because this is really true independence and freedom at the end of the day, isn't it, Mark?
yeah, my whole family slaved away for 3 generations and had no assets. My wife and I, we get up, we do whatever we want every single day.
Mhm.
We don't pay taxes. We pay very little. Um, we just invest. We buy real estate with debt. We don't have to work for it. We have holdings in gold, silver, assets. Our debt's getting smaller, right? So when we borrow money, our real estate stocks, things they're getting bigger, and the debt's getting smaller because the debt's priced in U.S. dollars.
Yeah,
So the debt just disappears in time relatively because it's getting smaller as my assets are getting bigger. That's you don't realize it's that we don't have real money. We have a Federal Reserve note. It's a
right.
piece of paper with numbers printed on it. It's worth nothing.
Mhm.
They could put $1 on it and 100. Like, oh, that's worth 100 times more than the other one. I'm like, no, it's not. It's a piece. But for every dollar they print, they create 9 more as digital entries in a computer. All the money is just digital entries in a computer. You didn't get your paycheck. You got digital entries in a computer.
Right,
You bought
exactly.
a house with digital entries in a computer.
Well, and like you said, this is why we have to throw away everything that we've been taught and start all over again. And
Yeah.
your book, Be Smart, Pay Zero Taxes, use the buy, borrow, die strategy to get rich and stay rich. I mean, this is a this is a manuscript. I mean, this is an outline for you to become independently wealthy. and have assets that, like you said, you may be just like Mark and, your family's, it's just been one generational, uh, you know, financial debt jail that everybody has been in. You pass it on to the next generation. Why not break that, right?
Yeah, it's worth, if you don't break it, you're going to fall into poverty. And I'll give you an example. Let's say that somebody has $1 million in their retirement account at 65 years old
Right.
today. They're like, I'm 65, I got $1 million in my retirement account. The numbers say you can take 35,000 a year out of that account, and there's still a chance you're going to run out of money. Okay, so that's a 65, you're going to live to 95. There's a good chance you're going to run out of money. Okay, so you're like, okay, 35,000. Well, that's 35,000 you owe taxes on. Okay, and then you're also collecting your Social Security. Well, your Social Security was tax free, but the 35,000 you take out, oh, now it triggers all the taxes on your Social Security payments. So what your Social Security payments were tax free. It triggers all the taxes on that. Plus the money you took out, that's taxable. You just double taxed yourself on the back end. Now, most people are going to retire even with $1 million at 65.
Mhm.
They'll start taking it out. As soon as there's a stock market crash, somewhere of that, they'll go back to work at 80.
Yeah. Or
80 to 85. Most people, even with $1 million,
mhm.
80, most people are going to have to go back to work around 80 to 85.
Mark, think about the hit that retired Americans, experienced during the Biden years when they printed up all that money, almost $2 trillion. I mean, they just went in to your reserve and just cut the legs out from underneath your reserve, right?
I've been trying to tell people this as much as possible. During coronavirus, I was investing, I was placing all my trades on Instagram. Anybody could have seen it. I was
Mhm.
like, whatever you do with this money, invest it because massive inflation is coming, right? I
Mhm.
knew it at the time. I know what printing trillions of dollars does. It causes massive inflation. So I'm like, man, you got to invest it. The people that invested it, we made a ton of money. The
Mhm.
people that invested it, we just borrowed to buy real estate. Our real estate doubled. Put it in the stock market. You could have, boom, investments made 400% rate of return.
Mhm.
So the investors are getting wealthy. The people saving money and trying to get out of debt, they're getting poorer.
Right, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
because their money's worth less.
Yeah.
When you're looking at 9% inflation, and we're still, right now we talk about it down to 2.4, but it doesn't really address the problem that's still in the pipeline. You
And
still
it's,
got, right?
yeah, administration or any administration, but the government's been lying about inflation since the 1980s.
Mhm.
So when they report the real inflation rate, that's not the real inflation rate. There's something called shrinkflation. They go, oh man, we used to have 16-ounce container
Yeah,
for
right.
299. Now you get an 8-ounce container for 299. That's for shrinkflation.
Mhm.
There's substitution. You used to get a steak for 12 bucks. Now they sell you ground beef and they go, oh well, everyone's getting poorer, so they're going to buy the ground beef. So there's no inflation in steaks.
Right.
It's a fraud. Inflation is around 5 to 6% every single year.
Mhm.
You're losing half your wealth every single, you know, 12 years. Half of your wealth is gone, or you're getting wealthy because you have assets like real estate, gold, precious metals, Bitcoin, assets that make money with inflation. So
Right.
that's the difference between the haves and the have-nots. The people that are buying assets with debt are getting rich because
Mhm.
their assets are going up and their debt's going down. If the US dollar ever crashes, all my debt's going to disappear.
Yeah.
Like very bad for everybody else, but I'm like, man, I got tons of real estate. I owe so much money. I'm like, man, if the dollar crashes, all my debt disappears. Man, I'm sure glad I didn't pay that off. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Plus,
Right.
plus when I'm borrowing it, I'm avoiding paying income tax and I'm avoiding hard work.
Right. Exactly. And so
Yeah.
the bottom line here, Mark, is that you want an asset that's growing. Anything that's depreciating, let it go, right?
Yeah, it's limited supply. You want things with limited supply. That's pretty much it. I wrote this in the book twice because I wanted to really hammer it home. Anything with limited supply goes up in value.
Mhm.
Anything with unlimited supply goes down in value. Okay. So artwork, limited supply, goes up in value. Bitcoin, long term, it goes up in value because there's a limited supply. Gold and silver, copper, Limited supply, can't create more, goes up very, very fast in value, right?
Right.
Real estate can only make so many houses so quickly. Real estate near water, wow, way more expensive.
Oh,
You have
yeah,
limited
exactly.
supply,
Right.
right? So you buy things, you use debt and you buy things with limited supply.
Mm. Yeah,
That's
just like,
it. That's it. We could just end there and go, yes. So you can buy ETFs in gold and silver. Great. There you go. You're buying ETFs in gold and silver. You can put any amount in them, $100.
uh,
And the debt's going down. The debt's going down if you borrow it, and the silver and gold is going up. You don't need to pay off debt. It's ridiculous. Paying off
exactly.
debt means paying more taxes. Like pay off debt, I think, whoa, pay more taxes? Really? Is that what you want to do? But again, good debt and bad debt. Bad debt is go to shopping at Target, go buy a nice car, blah, 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 things that lose value. The rich are using good debt to make money, and they're literally making money.
Right. Exactly. Even now, Mark Quann, author of Be Smart, Pay Zero Taxes. Mark, in this final segment here, uh, let's lay out a prescription. I mean, give us some great ideas and some great
Yep.
solutions here.
Yep.
And so, what what else should we do? I mean, in terms of, I know that you offer counseling, and there's seminars that you do that really take you deep, as deep as you want to go, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't write the book first. I trained about 500 people. I actually ran a school, a financial
Wow.
education school. I taught ordinary Americans it for about 500 people, every income, background, whatever. I taught them it and proved it would work. And then
Mhm.
that's when I was asked to write the book on it because they said, "Can you prove that ordinary Americans can use the buy, borrow, die strategy? It's normally used by billionaires." I'm like, anybody can do it.
Right.
So I proved it. And then I wrote the book on it, and we train hundreds of people. I have a YouTube channel, the Perfect Portfolio YouTube channel, or P2 Wealth is what it's called. But search there. I've got video content there. I did an overview a couple weeks, like a week ago. You can go on there. You can watch that. You can start learning the strategy. You can see my actual portfolio,
Hmm.
which AI stocks I own, which quantum computing, gold, silver, income positions.
Hmm.
I'm an open book. I've
Yeah.
got video courses on my website. I've got live courses. And then for people that are accredited investors, meaning they have a net worth of over 1 million, I can show them how to pay zero taxes.
Mhm.
Even income, W-2 income is fair game. You don't need to pay income taxes if you have a high enough net worth. You can
So,
literally go to a job as a W-2 and not pay income taxes.
yeah, imagine, huh? Wow.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
accredited investors. Yeah, so we help rich people get richer. We help the poor become wealthy, and the middle class. We want to keep them from falling into poverty. That's my really big goal. We have to keep middle America from falling into poverty because it's happening too quickly.
Well, and the fact is, here it is. And as you've discovered, you don't have to, right? I mean, some people think this is my destiny. I'm going to be poor. No,
No,
it's a
not true.
choice, still a choice, right?
No, no. I'm gonna go to reach out to a homeless shelter. I'm gonna teach this to homeless people. Like, yeah, here's your gig. You get a job. I'll teach you how to get wealthy. Anybody can do it. It's not the problem of the education. It's the people won't believe it.
Hmm.
They're like that. They've been brainwashed by Wall Street for their entire life, 50 years. Save money, get good credit. Well, Wall Street's getting super wealthy. They've been trained you like a sheep, man.
Right.
Save money, get good credit. Right. You're everyone else is getting wealthy but you. When you buy a home, you buy it with debt, then you're paying off. That doesn't make any sense.
Hmm.
You borrow $500,000 to buy a house. You didn't work or pay taxes, and then you pay it off. You should be investing outside the house. You have to dump everything you've ever learned and everything you learned at school. Oh, your financial advisor and CPA, they're part of the problem.
Right.
Oh, they're part of the problem. They are because they were trained by all the financial literacy comes from a private company funded by Wall Street. Everything your financial advisor is taught, it's from Wall Street.
Yeah.
And it's Wall Street and big government set it up. A retirement account? Really think about that.
Is it, Mark, that they're so ideologically fixed that they can't see outside of the system?
Now, most people are too far gone. They've just been trained for 40 to 50 years to do it. The schools, whatever. I wish them the most, but sometimes their kids will come into my course and they gotta like go convince their parents or whatever. So the kids will become wealthy. Like I said,
Uh,
the kids in the homeschool, man, they learn it at the speed of instruction.
yeah.
Um,
Well, you were
So,
telling me about the 9-year-old. Yeah, tell our audience about that.
yeah. I was reached out by a company called classicallearner.com. So classicallearner.com.
Mhm.
And I said, hey, why don't we do financial literacy? He's like, yes, man, a guy named Brett Pike. So we became friends. And these kids are between 9 and 18. Half of them are business owners. There's like a 9-year-old that has a business.
Wow.
There's a 14-year-old who has 9 employees because they're not in the traditional education system. They're
Right.
financially literate. They're learning buy, borrow, die. They're running businesses. They're learning how to. I mean, these kids are incredibly smart in this homeschool.
Mhm.
Like,
And their parents are coming to them for money, right?
well, their parents are learning too because their parents are listening, and then
Yeah.
well, I'm teaching the kids. So
Yes.
I taught 3 classes for the kids. That was amazing. It was blew my mind at the potential. Like this 9-year-old has $19,000 he's starting to invest, and he's 9,
Yeah,
and
that's
he's going to use this strategy, and he's
yeah.
9.
Yeah,
He'll learn it from when he was a kid.
and he's
So
got this money and he didn't have to become a celebrity and be owned by the movie houses or anything
nope,
like that.
no, complete freedom.
See, again, this is what I love about this. And financial freedom is so critical. And it really, in a sense, Mark, what it all comes down to, this is God given. This is smart stuff that God wants us to be blessed by. And I cannot thank you enough, for sharing, this experience. I mean, because here, I mean, you've proved it at every level. Uh, you know, rich, poor, young, old, everything in between, right?
Yeah, I mean, I taught it to the guy who built my deck. There's a guy putting painting in my house right now, my other house.
Uh,
I'm like, dude, I got to teach you this. He's like, all right, let's do it, right? So show him how to open up. I got the guy who lived next to me. I taught
mhm,
him the strategy. He's never been educated before financially. He's just some working guy next to me
right.
in Knoxville. So taught it to him. If people listen, I'll teach them. But I also so we have video courses, all types of content. You can read my books. You can learn the strategies. The alternative is you're probably going to work. We got about 6 to 8 years before a lot of the jobs disappear.
Mhm,
Like everybody listening to this, 6 to 8 years, your job is probably gone. And I want you to really think about that.
mhm,
If you don't wake up and do something about that, and you have a 401k, that's not going to help you. You need
right.
to build passive income streams. You can do it in your iPhone, and you can start with $100,
Mhm. Well,
right?
Mark, as you know, the economy is cyclical. And right
Yeah.
now, on the horizon, it looks like a lot of good things are going, even though SCOTUS kicked down the tariff decision disturbingly. But we'll get that worked out in
Yeah.
some form or
Yeah.
fashion. But I want to believe that we're on the verge of a golden age. So there's going to be, some things there that are very positive, but it's what you choose to do with that. Are you going to invest or are you just going to consume it? If you consume it, forget it. Because then 6 years down the road, when the economy takes a turn in the wrong direction, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah, it's the greatest. This is the greatest opportunity ever to build wealth in the history of humankind. Okay,
Mhm.
here's why. Anybody can start with $100 in their phone, right? You can go on the YouTube channel. You can build the same portfolio that I own. Very good. Just watch a YouTube channel. So you can start. You can add $100 a week or whatever. There's an investment account inside there. It's fully insured, and there's a borrow button. You can invest and you can borrow a little bit of money. I'm like, whoa! I just borrowed money. You can create money. You can use artificial intelligence to ask it any questions. You're like, how does that work? How does that work? Well, tell me more about this. Explain the strategy to me. What's the philosophy? Anybody can learn this strategy in an hour better than you could learn in spending $100,000 at the fanciest university. So everybody has the opportunity to become wealthy, even playing field. It's
Mhm.
the people that are going to go, man, I'm going to go do the work
Right.
and do it, right? Most of our students, they spend about 200 hours studying finance the first year. They
Mhm.
just learn it and then they just got to learn it because you can't learn it all at once, right? So
Right. Exactly.
yeah, if somebody buys our live course, they can go through it 50 times if they want. Our
Mhm.
video course, many times they want. So, I don't need people's money. I don't need them to buy a book. I don't need them to buy a course. Trust me, I'm good.
Mhm.
But I just don't want to see people working until they're 80 years old. And that's going to be the majority. It's not going to be like a few people.
Right.
Just look at the people that are working right now in their 70s. And I'm like, so unfortunate. But
Right.
man, that's going to be really big in the future. Hate
Yeah.
to say it, but yeah. So people don't get intimidated or scared. Just get excited about it.
Right.
Like you can do this. Anybody can, right? You
Yeah.
should be very excited.
You got to take that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Inflation makes your assets go up. So you just borrow money and put it in these assets, and you inflation builds your wealth, and it's not taxed.
What a great concept. I mean, this is awesome. I mean, and this is stuff like you said that's been around forever. The rich
They've
people,
been
they've been
using it
doing this. Yeah.
since the Great Depression. They've been using this. Every billionaire uses it. They don't teach you. They don't teach financial advisors. They don't teach financial advisors and CPAs. That's a little weird, isn't it? They
It
don't
is weird.
teach the
Yeah.
financial advisors. You can go to USC where they coined the strategy. You can go to USC, Pepperdine, Yale, Harvard, whatever. They'll never learn this strategy.
Mhm.
So weird, huh? That
It is.
one strategy that can make you really wealth, they don't even teach it to financial advisors. In fact, if a financial advisor teaches you this strategy, they're fired for selling away.
Oh,
It's called
exactly.
selling away.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. They're scared stiff of this. I know. I
Yeah.
had to leave the industry in 2018 because I'm like, I don't want to keep regurgitating this garbage you guys are feeding people. So I resigned. It cost me $250,000 a year in 2018 to
Mm.
resign. But no, they're all those financial advisors that I know, they're all regurgitating that crap. Some of them have taken my course and they don't even believe their own stuff, but they can get fired if they bring it up to other people.
Well, Mark, I just can only imagine what it was like for you when the light bulb, went off and all of a sudden you started seeing this and you started putting these things together. And what started out as a theory became practical for you. And here you are. Um, you're rich and staying rich, and you're sharing your ideas and paying it forward. God bless you for doing that. He's the author of the book, Be Smart, Pay Zero Taxes. Again, as we wrap things up, Mark, where can they go for more information?
The book Be Smart, Pay Zero Taxes on Amazon. You can go to the Perfect Portfolio website, so theperfectportfolio.com. From there, there's access to my other books. Our YouTube channel is P2 Wealth, or just search for the Perfect Portfolio. We have tons of video content on there, and you can just start learning the strategies.
Hey, you just gotta make the first step, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
There
Yeah,
you go.
people were watching 3 to 4 hours of Netflix and Prime every night. Spend an hour a day learning the Bible or die strategy. It'll change your life and your family legacy.
Without a doubt. Mark Quann, thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate being on the show again. This is fun.
You got it. All right, man. Be well.
Be
Well,
well.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sharing a part of your day with us. I know that you're going to be blessed greatly because of this, and I would say everything I can to encourage you to take that first step, as Mark laid out for you, so that you can get rich and stay rich and pay zero taxes. I mean, that's the headline here, ladies and gentlemen. It's up to you, and it's all about your choice. So again, thank you for being with us. God bless. May God bless you and give you peace, and may His face continue to shine upon you. Thank you so much. Take care.